right. Kevin should be here in just a minute, okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you. You all have a great session.
Thanks so much. Take care. And you've made me the host, right? Yeah, I'm good. Got it. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Vicky.
Hey, Josie, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Great. There's Nancy. She's in her very fancy living room there. Hi, Lee. How are you doing today? You're good. Okay. We have someone joining in on iPad. Do you feel comfortable renaming yourself, or would you like me to? It's always nice if I know someone's name. Who do we have joining in as iPad today? Feel free to unmute yourself. No takers? Okay. We have Valerie here. Janet's coming in. There's Joyce. Oh, that's Mary. Okay. Hey, Joyce, how are you?
Okay.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear. I'm going to give it another minute before we hop on. Yesterday was Earth Day, so I had my Earth Day background on. And I learned that it was the 51st anniversary of Earth Day yesterday. I was like, wow, okay. And who do we have?
There be at least 50 more.
Yeah, at least, yes. Thank you for that, lady. Oh, there, Joanne. Okay, I was going to ask folks to rename themselves. What a good group today. Today is Friday. That's right. Happy Friday, everyone. I always joke, and some of you have heard me say this before, that I'll always ask my husband, I'm like, is it Thursday today? And he'll say, no, it's Saturday. And I'm like, no, you can't do that to me, because I'll probably believe you. He's like, every day is a Saturday. I'm like, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to go ahead and get us started. We have a lot to cover today. Oh, there's Brandon. Hi, Brandon. Welcome. Let me make Brandon co-host. And Brandon has just joined us. He's with our Get Set Up support team. And he's going to be here helping me today, monitoring the chat. If anybody has any technical issues, just let us know. So welcome, Brandon. I'm going to start sharing my screen today. Let's go ahead. And let's just, I'm going to make this a little bit better. There we go. All righty. Well, welcome everyone. Happy Friday. And I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Vicki, your Get Set Up guide. For those of you who don't know me, I am calling in from San Jose, California, in Northern California in the North Bay. And just a little bit about me. I worked in high tech for over 30 years. I've done a little bit of technical support, a little bit of technical training, instructional design, and I've taught folks from around the world, people who are very technical, as well as folks like yourself who are just starting to really get into this world of technology. And for me, being a guide with Get Set Up lets me do what I love to do best, and that is educate folks in technology. So a little bit about me for those of you who I haven't worked with yet. Today with Get Set Up, we are recording our class. If you would like a copy of the recording, you can email us at help@getsetup.io. And, you know, we're a learning organization. We love it when folks turn their cameras on and we can see you. It's just more interactive that way, but I completely understand. Some folks are a little camera shy. I leave that up to you. This is your call. Today, we are being joined from folks via live stream. Welcome. You can see and hear everything we're doing today, but I always recommend that folks join a class, register for a class, and that way you can really fully participate with us today. And Get Set Up is a training organization. We're not paid to promote any products or services. I'm not being paid to promote Google or anything like that. So we are all about the training here. We offer classes. We have interest groups. We have social hours going on 7 days a week. We're offering classes in the US, in India, the UK, Australia, New Zealand. So we are global. We have you covered 24/7. So I always joke with folks, if you're insomniac and you're up walking around at 2 in the morning, just log on to Get Set Up and there'll be something going on that you can either watch or join in on a class. So that's Get Set Up. What are we going to be covering today? I'm going to be showing you how you can share documents with other folks using Google Apps. We're going to be focusing primarily on Google Docs today. Just as an example, I'll be hopping into another Google app as well. Once you share a document, how do you open it when a document's been shared with you? How do you open it? How do you access it? And then I'm going to be showing you how you can work on a document, a shared document. And I'm going to be logging in as 2 different people with 2 different Google accounts to show you what it looks like to collaborate in real time on a document. All right, I'm just curious for today's class, how many of you have been working on any of the Google apps? I know we have a few folks, just, feel free to show. Okay, so we have a number of folks who've been working. Okay, great, Miriam, yeah. Good to know, just so that folks realize this is not a beginner level class. We're not going to show you how to use Google Docs, or I'll be in Google Slides. It's really focusing on the collaboration piece of this. So if you are brand new and you haven't worked with any of the Google Docs, at the end of class, Google Apps, sorry, at the end of class, I'm going to be showing you how on the Get Set Up site, you can look for and register for classes for any of the Google apps. We have lots of great classes for you. All right, let's talk a little bit about what it means when we're sharing a document. So when you're working on any of the Google apps, whether it's Google Docs or Google Sheets or Slides, Google Forms, your documents are always private. Now, I know that we say that when you're working on the Google Apps Suite, all of this is being done online. Any files that you've created are held in the cloud online, but they're private. No one else can see them or access them but you until you share your documents with others. And once you do share your documents, you control, first of all, who you share them with, but also what access you provide them. So can they edit? Can they just view? Can they add comments? So that's entirely up to you, but that's what it means to share a document. So everything is private up until then. All right, so I'm going to show you next how you can share a Google document. I'm going to be working in Google Docs for the first portion of class, just because it's one of the more commonly used apps, and more people are familiar with that one. So I have a document here. Let me just bring it down. And there we go. That's what I was looking for. I'm going to resize it so it just makes it a little bit easier for everybody to see. So this is my Google Doc that I've opened up. And I want to show you that it currently is private. So you'll notice that on the share button, there's a lock over there. And let me make it a little bit larger. Hopefully I can show people. Here's that lock. So that means this document that I've created is currently private. No one has access to it. No one can see it except for me. And in this particular example, I have been asked by my family to pull together a family reunion in 2021. Maybe it's going to happen. Let's see. And a few years ago, we were in San Diego at the Hotel del Coronado for our last family reunion. Just curious, anybody ever been to the Hotel Del in, okay. It's beautiful. Lisa, it's just, Josie's been there too. It's gorgeous, right on the water, very like a very charming old lady, if you will. That's what it reminds me, very grande dame. And this year, I wanted to do something different. Rather than sending emails back and forth, I thought I would create a document and share it with my family, asking them to add their input into, what places would you like to see us, going? And I've started it off with a couple of ideas. And before I share this with my family, I'm going to throw it out to the class. Anybody have any places that they would like to visit next? Feel free to unmute yourself and let me know, or in the chat, whatever you'd like. Anybody?
Paris.
Wait, Paris.
Paris.
How could that be bad? Paris. I love it.
Dubai.
Dubai. Ooh, how interesting. Any other takers? Joyce, you're on mute in case you were. Joyce, I can do this all the time.
Yeah. Belize in South America.
I hear they have amazing scuba diving in Belize and snorkeling. So yeah, anybody else want to chime in?
Bora Bora.
It's like, let's go crazy, shall we? Whoops, sticky fingers. Bora Bora. All right, I love it. These are great. And I'm gonna keep this list because I'm always looking for new ideas about where to go. So I started my list thanks to class, and I want to share this with my family so that they can go in, edit this, and continue their suggestions here. So the way that I'm going to share this is up on the upper right-hand corner, you'll see this share button. When I click on it, the Phoenician in Scottsdale, I've never been, but I hear the Phoenician's gorgeous. I hear it's just lovely. Thanks for that, Mary. So this is when I click on share, this is my share with people screen. Different ways that you can share a file. The easiest way is to simply come up here and start adding people and groups. So what does that mean? It means you're going to start adding people's email addresses. So I might say, I'm going to add my nephew. This is his email. I have my niece, Tara. I'm going to add her email. I might want to start, I have someone's Hotmail account. I'm going to add my Hotmail. And I would literally just start adding people's email addresses right here. You can also add what we call labels or groups. So if I had an email group that I had created and I just called it family here, I could specify the name of the email group, and whatever emails are in there, it was, I'm just going to discard this, it would go ahead and add it there. So let's go ahead and add those back in. I didn't really mean to discard, but that's okay. And then I also have my Hotmail account. So you can specify Gmail accounts, Hotmail accounts, Yahoo accounts, anyone's email address will go here. The next thing that you're going to specify is what access are you going to give them when you share this file. And over to the right here, you'll notice there is this word editor. It's a button with a teeny little down arrow. If I click on that, it shows me another menu. And this is where I specify the permissions or the access level. So editor is the default. When you provide someone with as an editor, they can do everything to this file. They can make additions, they can add text, they can delete content as well. If you make someone a commenter, then all they can do is add comments. In this case, they'll add comments to this document. They can't make any other changes. And if you set them up as a viewer, that's all they can do. They can open the file and they can view it, and that's it. So I'm going to leave it as editor because I actually want my family members to start adding content to my document. And if I leave these notify checkbox, notify people selected, what it will do is it will send these folks that I've specified up here, these email addresses, it will send them an email message along with a link to the file. So it's really nice to be able to do this. And then I'm just going to type out a message. Hi, family, please add your suggestions. All right. And that's it. I'm going to click on send. And now I've sent notifications. I've sent emails to family members. I want to mention another way that you can share a file. I'm going to click on the share, and you'll notice I no longer have the lock anymore, but it does tell me that I've shared this file with 3 people. Down here where it says get link, when you share a file like I'm doing here, the people that you're sharing with, when you're specifying their email names up here, their email addresses, in order for them to be able to work on the file, open and work on the file, they will need a Google account. And I'm going to show you what this looks like in just a moment when someone opens up an email and accesses the file. So in order for others to be able to open and edit a file that's been shared with them, and because I created this file in Google Docs, they'll need to be able to have a Google account in order to be able to edit this file and work on it. Now, if someone does not have a Google account, one of the things that you can do is use this get link. So if I click on copy link, what it's doing is it's actually copying this URL up here, because remember, when you're working with Google Apps, you're working with files in the cloud. This isn't something that's on your hard drive, if you will. And so what it's doing is it's copying this link. Another thing you might want to take a look at is down here, it says restricted. Only people added can open the file with this link. well, which people, these people up here. And if you wanted to set it up so that anyone else can access this link, I'm going to click on change to anyone with the link. And now anyone that I provide this link with can, in this case, view the file. If I click on this drop down, I can make them a commenter or an editor. So the way that you can use this link is now that it's copied, you could paste this link in an email and send it to someone who does not have a Google account, and they'll be able to bring it up. And in this case, they'll be a viewer. So you'll use the get link option to send and to share files with others who do not have a Google account. So there's two different ways to do this. Another thing that you can do with this link is maybe you have a website or a blog. You could paste this link onto your website or blog, and then anyone who clicks on the link can view it. You can also paste this link into any other files, maybe a spreadsheet or something like that. So I just wanted to mention this to you, and let me know if you have any questions, because people are always asking me, so do you need to have a Google account? And the answer is, it depends. It's like yes and no. So let me go ahead and I'm going to bring in another screen. Let me just rearrange my screens here. And because I'm splitting my screen this way, I wanted to show you what it looks like to have two people. Let me just, there we go, working on a document at the same time. So what I've done here is on the right-hand side of my screen, I've actually logged on to a different Google account. I've logged in as my niece, Tara. And you can always tell when I'm working as Tara because on her user profile, she loves dragonflies. So she's added an image to her Google profile of a dragonfly. When I'm working as Vicky, the creator of the file, you'll know because I've been too lazy to add an image to my Google profile. It's just the good old V. So that's how you can tell as I'm moving back and forth. So I've opened up Gmail and I'm niece Tara now. And I have an email message in my Gmail inbox. And if I open it, and it says that I've been invited to edit a document. Now, if I had been given just commenting, if I'd been set up as a commenter, it'll say you've been invited to comment on the following document. If I had been set up as a viewer, this will say you have been invited to view the following document. So again, I'm sorry that I've scrunched this all up, but this is the document that's being shared with me. I can click on Open in Docs. And what it's doing is, and let me just switch over to, let me make sure that I'm on Tara. For whatever reason it does this, I have too many Google accounts open, I think. All right, we are working as Tara. So I have Tara here on the right, and then this is me, Vicky, on the left. And what's also interesting is you'll notice when I open this up, to the left here, as people start opening up, as family members open up their emails and start opening up this document, their profile icon is going to be displayed here. So no matter who I log in as, I can always see who else has this file open, and simply their profiles will start to show up here on the left. So that's one important thing that I wanted to show folks. So I'm working, here I am, I'm Tara, niece Tara, and I want to show you what it looks like to start working on this file. So one of the first things that I might do is add a comment. And so because I have full editing capabilities, that's what has been given to me. I can make comments, I can add text, I can do it all. So when you're working in Google Docs, if you wanted to add a comment so that other people could see it, as I start to move over to the right edge of my document, there are two icons that pop up here, green and blue. If I select the top one, it has the plus sign in there, and I click on Add Comment, it is going to bring up a little comment box here. And if I click in the comment box, I can say, I, really loved the Dell. I'm being very creative here. I'm going to click on comment. I could have pressed on the enter key. And what you're seeing is I've created my comment. Now, if I come over here on the left, and again, I'm working as Aunt Vic, there's my green V, I immediately see the comment that someone else has added. Now, as my other family members hop on board and they start opening up this file, you may see additional comments being displayed on the right-hand side. Today, I'm only going to work in 2 different Google accounts. Otherwise, it gets a little crazy. As the creator of this, of the document, I could simply click on the comments. Let me just scroll a little bit here and I can reply. I can, me too, and click on reply. And then you'll see my reply automatically over here on the right when I'm working as Tara. And so again, just, really simply adding comments. One thing that I wanted to mention is when I added a comment, I just picked an area in my document and simply clicked on the plus sign. When you're sharing a document with others, it's probably more useful, more helpful that if you're going to be doing some editing, if you click over and highlight a word, a phrase, a paragraph, and then you add a comment. I'll say, maybe Disney World in CA in California. I'll click on comment. So what that does for you, for others who are going to be viewing this file, if I scroll down a little bit, you'll now see that as a viewer, Disney World in Florida is now highlighted. And I have this little color bar here where it tells me who has made the change. And if I click on that highlighted area, and I have to scroll over here, you can now see the comment that's associated with that highlighted text. And so if you're going to be making comments on a file that's shared with you, my suggestion is highlight the area, the sentence or the paragraph or the word that you want to make a comment for, and then add your comment. It just makes it a lot easier for people to see who's been commenting, adding comments on what particular portion of the document. And so, that's just my tip. That's how I prefer to work with it. You can add a comment anywhere you'd like, but it's just I think, a little bit clearer, cleaner. If you're going to be adding lots of comments, highlight what you want to make a comment on, and then use this comment button. And let me know if anybody has any questions about that. Just feel free to, unmute yourself, put something in the text, our chat box. What else can we do? So that's adding comments, responding to comments. Let's actually talk about adding text. How do we start entering information? So obviously I can come down here, and again, I'm working as Tara, my little dragonfly girl. I can just click in here and just literally add text, I'm voting for Maui. I'm a Maui girl. So I've added text right here. Again, if I come back and I'm working as Vicky, I'm viewing this file, and there you can see that Tara has added Maui. And Mary has a great question. What if I want to comment on the Disney World site after Tara? So what you can do is come over here. And if you're adding a comment, you can always just remember clicking on a comment, you can reply.
Vicky, how did you get, could you repeat how you got the comment section?
Yes, of course. So let me just come back. I'm working as Tara here. And you can always move, as you move your cursor to the right of your document, these two icons always pop up, add comment and suggest edits.
Okay.
Yeah, and so whether you, and also as soon as you highlight anything, those two buttons, those two icons become available to you. And so Mary asked, what if I want to comment on that, the Disney hop on the Disney comment. You can always just click on the comment itself and add to that conversation. You can add it as a reply. If I were logging in as, Royce, my nephew, I could, people can add, it's like a thread, if you will, similar to an email thread. You can simply click on this and just click on reply and say, me too, or, I like Disney World better, or, and then click reply. And you can just keep it going, just keep reply, and this whole thread will stay together. So Mary, I hope, does that answer your question? Did that clear it up a little bit?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, great. And so you've seen how I've just been able to add text on the fly. Just you can click anywhere, start typing as long as you have edit capabilities. I want to talk a little bit about what happens when you start changing existing text or deleting text. So I'm going to come up here, and again, I'm working as Tara, niece Tara, and let's just say I'm going to change the word, instead of killer, I'm just going to change it to awesome. Just to give you an example, that's all. Now I've changed it to awesome. Let's go back here, and I want to show you when this is, I'm working as Vicky, the owner of the document. I might not even be aware that this change was made. I can see awesome in here, but if I wasn't paying attention, I wouldn't even know that someone had made a change to the text. So this is what I'm proposing. Let me go back, switch over. I'm now working in the document, the shared document, as Tara. I'm going to use Google's good old undo. Let's get back to where we were. All right. Do I have another undo? No, that's all right. Let's go back, put Maui in here. Too many undos going on. So instead of working in what we call editing mode, one of the things that you can do, and I'll show you two ways to get there. I want to see if I can make my screen a little bit larger. You'll see that there's this little button here. If I click on it, it's a pencil. If I click on the little pencil or pen, I'm currently in editing mode, which means that I can do everything. If I go and select suggesting mode, let me show you how that changes things up a little bit. I'm going to come back here, And I'm going to make that same change. I'm in suggesting mode though. I'm not in editing mode. And I'm going to instead type out awesome. And immediately you can see the difference. So when you're in suggesting mode, that enables you to leave what I call like an audit trail. So it keeps the original text, although it crosses it out and puts in the new text. If I come over here, and again, I'm viewing this as Vicky on the left side, as the owner or even as another viewer, I can immediately see someone is wanting to make this change there. I know what the original was, the original text, and I can see what the new text is. And so this is really important because when you're going to have a number of people collaborating at the same time on a single document, if you're not in suggesting mode, it's really difficult to know who's been changing what, or even what has been changed. Now, as the owner of the document, I can immediately see that someone's changed this. I can see if I hover over this color bar, who has made the change. And if I come over here, I'm just going to scroll a little bit over here. I can see that Tara has made this change. If I wanted to accept the change, I could click on the check mark. If I didn't agree with the change and wanted to reject it, I would just click on the X. So can everyone see where I am here? It's a new change. If I were going to say, sure, awesome is fine, I'm going to click on the check mark to accept it. And then this has now been changed to awesome from killer. Anybody have any questions on working in this suggesting mode? Yeah, Carol, question.
Again,
Oh,
how did you
yeah.
get to suggesting mode?
Sure.
I forgot.
Sure, not a problem. So let me just hop over here as Tara, and let me make my screen just a little bit larger for you because it can be difficult to see this. So I originally, by default, when you open up a document that's been shared with you, you are in editing mode. And you know that because if you come over here, you'll see this little pencil icon. And when you click on it, this menu drops down. And this is where you can go into suggesting mode. You may have also noticed that when, let me go back into editing mode just for a moment. When I move over to the right-hand side of my document, I also have this suggest edits button, and this is fairly new. Google just added this recently. And when you click on that, if you make any changes, brainstorming, I don't know, I'm just going to type anything, that also puts you in suggesting mode. And so the snafu here, it's not a snafu, but people always ask me this question. They say, so how can you force your collaborators, people that you're sharing this document with, to be in sharing mode? And the answer is you can't. I wish Google allowed you to do this, but you can't. So this is where, as the owner of the document, if you're going to be sharing this with folks, you need to give them a little bit of direction. And so, you know, if you click on share, when you're, you know, I'll just ABC, you know, .com. I'm making something up. In the message, maybe you can say, you know, please go into, you know, sharing mode when making edits, that kind of a thing. So yeah, it's a little frustrating, but this is how it's working. And so you just need to educate your users on going into suggesting mode. Also, when a file has been shared with you, you can put yourself into viewing mode. So if you're nervous about maybe, oh, I could mistakenly make an edit and I didn't mean to, if you move into viewing mode, what you'll notice is that the toolbar has gone away, and you literally, you can't even click in here and do anything. And so this icon changes to an eyeball. And so if I click and go back into editing mode, my toolbar shows up and I'm able to actually click in and do something on the file. And so those are the different modes. Sharing mode is very helpful, very useful, because it I say it leaves an audit trail, and then you, as the owner of the document, as people are making edits, making comments, you can decide if you want to accept or reject those edits. And so that's an important point about editing your documents. What else can you do? In addition to making comments and making edits, you also have a chat feature that's available to you. So for those folks who have opened up the document, my family members, if you didn't want to make comments back and forth, you could simply come up here. Again, let me just make it a little bit larger. And I'm on here as Tara. I could click here where it says show chat, and there is a chat window that opens up. And I can just say, thanks, Aunt Vic, for, pulling this together. If you didn't want to make it a comment and you just wanted to chat with people, and then over here on the left, when I'm viewing this document as the creator, as Vicky, a little red dot shows up indicating that I have a chat message. If I click on that, I can see my chat. I can respond. You are so welcome. I'm just pressing my enter key to send it back into the chat. And it's just, everything is in real time. So it's another chat option, another option that you can work with when you're collaborating on a file. Clicking on the X closes the chat window for you. And that is, that's the chat. Those are some of the features that are available. Something else that I wanted to talk about when you are sharing documents, when you're sharing files with others. So on the right, I'm over here as, I'm going to close my chat window for a moment. I'm working as Tara, niece Tara. You'll notice that I have a share button here. If I click on share, I can now share this document with anyone that I wish. I could be sharing this to the immediate world if I wanted to. And, as the owner of the document, as Vicky, I really would prefer just to keep this document within our family. I don't need other people to see this. So I want to show you how, as the originator, the owner of the document, you can control who can share, who can do what. So I'm coming back here. I'm working as Vicky now. If I click on that share button, when you're setting up your original share, and you can do this at any time, by the way, if I click on this little gear all the way to the right, it brings up a menu with two additional, let's see if I can, it won't let me make it, oh, no, let me make it a little bit larger, with two additional sharing options. So the first one, and these are set to on by default, editors can change permissions and share. So if I were to deselect this option, people that I'm sharing this file with, they can now no longer share it with anyone else. They won't be able to click on this share button and share it with other people. Viewers and commenters can see the option to download, print, and copy. So you have to understand that when you're sharing files with folks, they can open up this shared document, they can download it to their PC, their device, they can make a copy of it, and they can print it. If this isn't something that you want them to be able to do, then deselect this option. Mary has a great question. So if my group wants to revise bylaws, can I share the changes in the suggestion mode? Yes, I would definitely recommend that, so that you're not changing anything right then and there. You're simply making a suggestion, and then whoever is in charge of that actual document can go through and accept or reject people's changes. So yeah, Mary, that's that's what I would suggest. So we're going to click on the back button. Start showing this way. You know what, Mary, is this going to be on YouTube? There was another question asked, I think, sorry about that. I think, Lee, you may have asked the question, can we share the recording of the session? Let me find out for you. I don't know. Brandon, do you know what our take is on sharing recordings? I don't think we stop people from sharing the recordings. And I think we're streaming. Also, Brandon, you may have an answer to this one. Do we stream on YouTube, or are we just streaming on Facebook? So if so, you should be able to access this. And I will get those answers to you if Brendan doesn't have them in the here and now. So great questions.
Vicky,
Yeah.
yeah, they will get the recording automatically.
They will, if they're.
Yeah, if they don't get the recording, they can contact us at help@getsetup.io.
Okay, and can folks share the recording with others?
Let me check that.
Yeah, I'll check it too.
Vicky,
Also, yeah, question.
this is Miriam. You can share the recording. I've done it before.
Okay, all right. So the answer is yes. Thank you for that. And let me get the verification on the YouTube. I know we are.
Yeah, it's going live on YouTube as well.
Okay, so the answer is yes. Thank you.
No problem.
I'm just the guide. What would I possibly know?
Yeah.
So to find it on YouTube, what do we search?
Brandon, they would be searching on Get Set Up.
Yeah, Get Setup channel community.
The Get Set Up channel community. Okay. And then you'll see a listing there.
Yeah.
Okay. What else did I want to cover? Thank you for that, Brandon. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
A few other things that I wanted to show you. When you've been sharing, you can actually remove someone from a share. So if I clicked on my share button and I come over to the right, maybe I want to remove Royce from a share. I just click on the editor button, and not only can I make someone an owner, but I can also remove them from the share so that they don't have access to this file any longer. So that's something also to know about. I think that's really helpful. So those are some additional things I wanted to talk to you about when it came to sharing, in addition to making folks, are they going to be an editor? Are they just a viewer or a commenter? You as the owner of this document, when you click on that share button, you also can decide, again, whoops, sorry about that. Clicking on this gear, you have two other options, share options that you can turn on or off. So pretty useful to know about.
Vicky,
All right.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can you share a picture with them?
Yeah, so that's another, an interesting question. Interesting, great question. The thing that I wanted to do next was open up a different app I have a file that I created using, excuse me, Google Slides. And if you're using any of the Google apps, whether it's Google Photos, you're in Google Drive, you can share any type of a file. And you're going to do it with this share button. You'll see different apps, just they all have the share button, but the answer is yes, you can share any type of file. Now, I happen to be in the Google Docs application, and I did that so I could show you what it looks like when you're in a document to just click on this share button. I'm going to bring up another, let's see, where was my other file here? Let me just minimize this. I have another file that I created using a different Google application, Google app. This one's called Google Slides. It enables you to create slide presentations. And I'm doing this just so that I can show you what it looks like to be in a different Google app and to share a document. In this case, I'm sharing I've asked my family to collaborate, add their own photos, electronic photos, so that I can create, excuse me, a photo album. So just another example. And the way that I will share this document with my family is just the same way that I showed you when we were in Google Docs. We have the share button right over here. It's just a different color. Right now, there's a lock on it, which means that it's private. I haven't shared it yet. When I click on the share button, again, it's the same dialogue. So I can start sharing this with my family members, good old Royce and anybody else that I can think of. And I can ask them just to make comments. They're just going to view it, or I want to make them editors because I actually want them to add their own images, their photos to this file. So I'll just say, hi, please add your photos, and then click send. And when I've done it here, what you'll see is, let's see if I can bring up is this my niece? Yes, it is. Nope, wrong one. I have too many files open. There we go. There's my niece. So here is Tara. And what I'm going to do is I was hoping, will it come in? Sometimes I have to refresh my screen. There it is. So this is Tara's inbox, her Gmail inbox. And here is her invitation to share and collaborate on this file. I'll click on open in slides. And again, the same thing is going to take place. So I've now, let's make sure that we're with Tara. This is what happens when we have all these accounts open. Tara, I'm viewing this as Tara. And as family members start to open this file, you will see their user, their Google profile icons showing up here. And I can make a comment. I'm just going to go over here and I'll add a comment, and I'll, this should be hilarious. And then click comment here. And different Google apps work a little bit differently. So in Google Docs, you access comments one way. I'm in Google Slides. I'm clicking on the comment here. You also have the chat feature. So it works the same way. If I come over here and I'm viewing this as Aunt Vic, the creator of the file, this is my niece Tara's, this is her comment. And it's just slightly a different look and feel. We're in a different app, but I wanted to go into at least two different apps to show you what this will look like. Yeah,
Vicky?
Carol, question.
Yeah. So when I do like these whatever webinars about computers, they always give us a PDF file, and what you're showing is starting to making my little brain go ding, ding, ding. Is the thing is when you open up these PDF files, it's some other program you have to pay for that lets it open up and you can edit it. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Yes, and
Can I use
so,
what you're doing? Because I don't want to pay for this stupid software.
right, so if you're using Adobe Acrobat Reader, it's free to view. It's view only. In order to be able to edit the PDF, you have to go into like Adobe Acrobat Editor, and you have to pay for that. You can use this to make comments. You can add comments to the PDF. But I believe when you're sharing a file, in order to like truly make edits on that PDF, you'll probably have to be in the actual editor. And
So wait, now I'm getting all confused. So if I get this PDF file, I download it to my file, where they're all there. Then I open it in. No, I do what you're doing. I send it as a shared file, and then I can do what you just said.
right. So remember, when you're sharing a PDF, that's Adobe's product. It's not Google's product. So what I've been showing you here is purely Google Apps. And
Right.
so, yeah. And so you can share a file. You could, for example, go into Google Drive and you can share a PDF with others. And then if they have editing capabilities, like if they have Adobe Editor, they can make edits. So what I'm really showing you here is how do you collaborate on files purely using the Google Suite, the Google
I get
Apps
that.
Suite.
So I'm just trying to get a way around what I just said. That's what
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to do it.
Can you share with yourself? Can you put yourself as one of the participants?
Yeah, let's see. Well, why not? Why shouldn't I be able to?
You don't have to go through all that if you don't have time.
Yeah, you can. Let's do. You can. You should be able to. Will it let you? Huh? No, it won't. Isn't that funny? It won't let me. Okay. Let me try that. Okay.
Just while we're on, is PDF, are you saying PDF is owned by somebody like Acrobat?
Yeah, Adobe.
No. A
Yeah.
PDF file is owned by Acrobat?
Yeah, that's what a PDF is. It's an Adobe Acrobat file. So for example, you can bring up Microsoft Word and then you can save that as a PDF. But in order to be able to view the PDF, you need to have something called Adobe Acrobat, which is free. It's a software package that allows you to view these PDF files. And if you need to edit a PDF file, you need to have Adobe Editor, like Acrobat Editor.
So just a comment, write little comments on them?
Yeah, yep. So it's a whole different ball of wax. but we're learning.
So, Vicky,
yeah.
So you you can click the pencil, the eyeball, and the one that looks like a screw to share with others.
When you're in a Google application,
Google, yes.
You'll click on share to share this file with others. Now, I'm glad that you brought this question up, Joyce, because when we were in Google Docs, I showed you how to get into, editing, suggesting, and viewer. You'll notice here in Google Slides, we don't have that capability. It just, and I believe the reason for that is Google Docs is truly it's a word processing application. And, it's heavily used. And so they've added this capability to be able to go into suggesting mode and editing mode or viewer mode, just because it's such a heavily used file, document creation type of an application. With the others, with Google Sheets, Google Slides, there isn't that same menu option to go into suggesting mode. I think they just haven't put that, type of, work into it. So all you can do here is you can edit. You can do straight edits if you have editing capabilities, or you can make comments. So depending upon what you've given, what permissions you've given others for this file, they'll either be able to do straight edits, just delete something, or they'll only be able to make comments or simply be a viewer.
So what is the physical process of adding a photograph to the slides and making comments?
Sure. So because I have, let's go see if I can get back into Terra. Where is my, Terra?
It's 129.
Really?
Yes.
So, and this is Lee, this is actually, we have a class on using Google Docs, using Google Slides. I would actually be, I'm in Google Slides right now. And so I would be going and, doing an insert and adding an image either from my hard drive locally or going out to the web. And so this is a whole nother class that we teach, but that brings up yet another great question. I am going to, let's bring this up a little bit. I'm going to the Get Set Up site and it's waiting. It's just waiting. Oh my goodness. Come on. All right, here we go. So on the Get Set Up site, if I search on Google, what it will do is bring up a list of all the different classes that we teach that have to do with Google. And so I would take a look on the Get Set Up site and really go into this and see what other classes, Google classes, are of interest to me. So sorry about that, Lee. We just didn't have time to sneak that one in. And I'm going to go ahead and stop my sharing. And I want, we're all the way, we're up, at the hour. I wanted to thank everyone today for joining me. I'll be staying on for a couple more minutes if anybody has any additional questions. Thanks so much for your great questions today, by the way. Really just, enthusiasm, great questions. And I hope to see you in other classes, and just know that you can take this class again as many times as you wish. Frequent flyers, always welcome.
Thank you for your
have
clarity.
a great rest of your day. It was great to see folks who I see frequently.
Okay.
And take care and enjoy. Have a great weekend.
Vicky,
Yes, you too.
Vicky, I have a question.
Yes, Josie.
When you said that, the group contact, do you have to create that before?
You
Like,
do.
how did
Yeah, sorry, Josie, I didn't mean to cut you up. You would have had to created that email group before. And if you're using Google Mail, Gmail or Google Contacts, it's called a label. They used to call it a group. Now they call it a label.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Thank you, Vicky.
You're welcome.
You have a wonderful day. Thank
Okay.
you. Bye-bye.
Take care, Nancy. Lee, did you have a question?
No, thank you so much
Okay.
for your clarity.
Okay. Great. Enjoy, everyone.